because your arm should not hurt ever. It can be sore for a couple days after you throw for a complete game, but it should not hurt, and your velocity should not be stuck. Hey guys, this is Scott Haase with Healthy Velo, and if you want to throw harder, if you want to pitch with no pain, then pay attention to this testimonial video that happened today with a guy who was having shoulder pain and couldn't throw as hard because he had so much discomfort both on top and underneath his shoulder. We'll watch that, and then I'm going to describe to you in detail, specifically every step of how I evaluated him today, and we got to the point where he's feeling a lot better. I got D2 UND Griff Hallahan here. He came in today to get some work. He's one of our remote guys, been with us for a long time, him and his brother, and he'd been having a little bit of shoulder discomfort, some scap discomfort, and so we made some tweaks. Can you tell everyone here, make sure this is close enough so they can hear you, what were you feeling? How long had you been feeling it? Kind of describe to them what you're feeling.
Yeah, so I've been feeling like I've had a big knot in my shoulder, and it's just been causing me pain, and it's like whenever I'm thrown over the top or something, so I felt like when we came in today, we discussed that, and then...
What about in the scap too?
Yeah, so the scap's been having a bunch of knots, been feeling pinchy, so as soon as I cock back, it's been pinchy, so...
And then he also had a rib thing that I didn't know as much about. Tell him about that.
Yeah, so I also have a dislocated rib. It's pushing muscle through my scap that rubs against each other and causes pain sometimes, so...
Yep. So what we really hyper-focused on was throwing from the spine, because he's, like most guys, trying to throw and get on top of the ball and use his arm, or he wasn't on top of the ball and he was in a better slot. He was really trying to use everything down here, which then aggravates the rib cage. So basically, he's, danged if he does, danged if he doesn't, either direction, because he's still trying to use his arm, so we had him shut that off. And tell everyone what it feels like now in these last handful of throws and kind of what you were thinking about or how it feels.
Yeah, so I was thinking about just being loose, being flowy, and it makes my arm not hurt. So it makes the shoulder less tense and less hurty, so.
All right, so you're gonna see him at UND, been up to at least 90, possibly 91. So as a lefty, throw 90, 91. That's pretty sick. All right, so come on over here to the whiteboard, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what we did. So I got it outlined in 4 different steps. So step 1, what we did, and you guys can see with the glare, is I looked up at his warm-up. So during a warm-up, oftentimes what we're able to see with guys is that they've got a lot of opportunities. I'm all about opportunities. I wanna stack opportunities. They have as many opportunities as possible that they have no idea are even there. And I'm gonna look and find, and we're gonna take notes, we're gonna write it in a journal, but we gotta see where these opportunities are at. Because, for example, if a guy warms up in his toes and all of his movements are in his toes, and then he goes onto the mound and he has a hard time staying in his heel to keep his foot flat, then my gosh, we better tell him that your full 45-minute warm-up routine in your toes and your 20-minute routine where you throw and play catch, you're in your toes, that is gonna make it very difficult for you to ever be able to stay in your whole foot, because your entire warm-up routine and throwing session before you ever step foot on the mound is all in your toes. Does that make sense? So if I can see it and nip it in the butt right away in his warm-up and see that tendency is already there, then that is gigantic. So we did notice that in his warm-up. So as I'm seeing him warm up and do his exercises, is he doing it hard enough? Is he doing it with high intensity? Is he doing it the right way, the correct way? Is he over? So Griff, that you guys watched in the testimonial video, what he was doing was there was an overemphasis on his scaps. So it's kind of like a shoulder shrug where you use your scapula, or not your, your traps. He was overemphasizing trap movement with some of his exercises, which doesn't allow for the inner smaller muscles like your rotator cuff muscles and everything to work as well. So they're not getting as strong as they could. And right away when I was watching him do bands, I saw, hey, that's a good opportunity. We also discussed he was just doing Jaeger bands, which is the same weight every single time. And not that those are bad, but he can use something that we use like crossover symmetry bands. So you guys can see right over here. What's up, guys? Do me a favor real quick. If you're thinking like so many guys do, like I used to be when I was pitching, man, I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to listen to. But you've been watching this video and a bunch of other videos and seeing how well we train guys, and you want to learn even more. You want to figure out what type of trainings do I need to do? What type of drills do I need to do? What's the mindset that I need to finally get from where I am now stuck to where I want to be completely transforming? I've got an online training academy. It's HV, Healthy Velo Training. It's free. There's no cost. It's my favorite 4-letter F word, FREE. Go to healthyvelo.com/training. Join. There's people from literally all over the world inside this training academy figuring out exactly what you need to throw harder, to stay healthy, and do it super effortless so that everyone that's watching knows that you're a dude, that you got the right mindset, that your arm action is ridiculous, that they want you in every game. You're throwing as hard as you can, harder than you ever have before. Just go to healthyvelo.com/training, and then let's get back to this video. We just see so much in the warm-ups that there's just gobs and gobs of opportunity, and that's why I love these evals. So armcare.com, the guys, they're partnered up with crossover symmetry bands, and they just sent us these sick blacked out ones. They're awesome. So there's just different things from a progression standpoint. There's different weights and different sizes that you can use with these bands that I like a little bit more than Jaeger bands. Jaeger bands are great, but then how do we progress to do different exercises? Also, you're gonna see that you cross them over, so there's more shoulder blade and scapula movement. Your rhomboids, a lot of your muscles in your back are getting worked out a little bit more effectively in combination with using heavier and lighter weights for the appropriate exercises. It's just more of a complete routine for your shoulders. So there's just so many gobs of opportunities that we can find. You guys like that hole right there? You like that? Here, I'm gonna cover it up so it looks better. Oh, come on now. All right, let's move it over. Okay, the next thing we're looking at is arm and shoulder strength. So we are partnered up with armcare.com. I can't highly recommend them enough. You guys can always reach out. We got like a coupon code and all that stuff. Even if you don't use us, armcare.com, the grip dynamometer, the shoulder external rotator dynamometer, the strength dynamometer, all of that. That thing is awesome. Highly recommend that. You need it because you need to know where your strength numbers are. So we actually were able to look back at the last 2-3 years worth of data because Griff had been he'd been checking and keeping track of his arm scores. And so it allowed us to have a lot more thorough of a conversation with where his strength has been and why and what attributed to it and why this, external rotation maybe was up at this point or internal rotation was down from a strength standpoint. So we looked at that, evaluated that, and made sense. Oh, well, that was in his gap year. That was when that's all he did was shoulder exercises. And I said, hey, I want to talk to that guy in the gap year and put him with this guy who's now playing at a higher level and get that strength back. And so now we have another opportunity. So all this is just about stacking opportunities. The next thing we look at is catch, play, habits, CPH. That's not a real acronym. I just made that up. So catch, play, habits is going to be when someone's playing catch, 99% of players have really bad habits. They're coming out of their heel. They're not using their legs. They don't use their spine. They don't even know how to. They're trying to get on top of the ball and creating bad movement patterns, which Griff was. And so he was getting into shoulder impingement, which doesn't feel comfortable, which isn't easy and effortless. And so it just reinforces these bad patterns that he's trying to get rid of. And so we fixed that. So there's so many things in catch play that are bad habits. Guys fall forward, guys land to the left, they land to the right, they don't know why. And so we can correct those by just watching when they're throwing over here, what they're doing so that they don't recreate those bad movement patterns over and over again. Because the reality is when we get a guy, we'll figure him out. We'll fix him. We'll get rid of pain. He'll throw harder. He'll have more command. All the things they want, we got it. We'll take care of it. The real work then, which is unknown, becomes what do I do after? Because 99% of pitching coaches out there can't help you because they don't know what they don't know. Well, this is my obsession, has been for 16 years. This is my passion. This is my purpose on the earth. I'm going to figure it out for you. We're going to get you fixed up. We're going to get you set on the right path. But that path requires you walk it. That path requires the work and effort necessary to make progressions and keep getting better. Aware of, simultaneously, all these bad habits are going to come back up. And so you got to put in the reps. I call it the free throw theory. You figure out your free throw routine, you figure out your mechanics of the free throw, and you just shoot a lot of free throws and you get better. But you don't shoot free throws, the feel isn't there, the repetitions aren't there, and you don't get better. So we gotta get you doing the reps. Got it? Cool. So catch play habits, very important to diagnose and see where the opportunities are and then go from there. Lastly is gonna be mechanics. So most of the guys that I work with, 99.999%, honestly, it's probably 100%. I've yet to meet someone that is under or has the understanding of spine dominant pitching mechanics because I made it up. I created that through 16 years of trying to put everything together and all these things. Some people say this, some people say that, all those things, and it just never made sense. Well, now we have an entire system that when implemented works. And so since he did not know that, we're able to implement the system, show him through all of our drills. We've got what we call our EV drills, our EV throws. We've got water bag drills that are done differently than anyone in the world. We've got other drills that no one in the world is doing. And the way we cue them and teach them, no one is doing. And so we get those things to stack, and he feels better, and his arm feels better, and now his mechanics are better. Guess what? He was in his toes when he threw. We got him more into his heel. Things are feeling a little bit more effortless. His timing was off. So he got back far enough. He coiled and counter-rotated back far enough, but then he wasn't imparting force into the ball until too late. Fixed that up. He's like, man, it feels more powerful. There was still kind of a crashing going on with his scapula, kind of crashing into the muscles in the back. What we actually had him do was tighten up everything here. So his pec, his shoulder, and his abs were more engaged and tight. So that when he's on the mound and he gets back there, I'll show you guys, then he's able to feel more in control and he doesn't have that crashing sensation in his shoulder. So let's check this out. If you guys are watching this video and you're still here, that's because you're a dog, all right? A lot of guys don't watch a video. We're 7, 8, 9 minutes in, and guys don't watch these videos. So I appreciate you. I got your back. Let me know if I can help you. Shoot me a DM on the gram. That's usually the best way to get a hold of me. And here's what's happening. So he got back here plenty. He's a lefty because lefties are better. He got back here great and then wasn't trying to throw hard until here at the end. And then you lose the rest of your body. Also, he was getting back here too fast or too much of a crash. So in his scapula back here, it was kind of crashing back. And that was causing discomfort. So basically from here all the way through here, he controlled it more. So it was a little bit more engaged, a little bit tighter. All the muscles were more engaged and contracted. So it couldn't get back as much, which limited the scap crash into his back, which felt better. So we got him through his heel more. We got him more in control here. We got him rotating through his spine. So the spine and the trunk was twisting. Then we got the legs working because his legs were fine. Then we got him to control at release. I also had him throwing to a mirror so he could see these things instantly. There's so many little things that we're always doing with guys to try to optimize how fast you can learn something. If we can speed up your learning curve, your limitless potential is unfathomable. It's already limitless. But when we can do things like take your shoes and socks off, whoop, like when we can do things like give you instant feedback via this, via coaching, via video to watch you do it, your learning curve is so much faster. So I implore you, if your arm hurts, if you're not happy with where your velocity is, if you've been stuck at that same velocity for 2 years and you have no idea why, and you can't watch a YouTube video like this and figure it out for yourself because everyone's completely different, reach out, shoot me a DM. You can text us 317-854-0040 to inquire. You can shoot us an email, membersupport@healthyvelo.com. You can comment below. Find a way to reach out to me. There's going to be a link in here where you can reach out and schedule a call with me so that myself or someone on our team can figure out if you're a good fit for working with us. And we got your back. We're going to take care of you because your arm should not hurt ever. It can be sore for a couple days after you throw for a complete game, but it should not hurt. And your velocity should not be stuck. If you are 16, 18, 22, 30 years old and your velocity just hasn't changed and you know you've got more in the tank, then do yourself a favor, your future a favor, and your career a favor, and reach out to us.